She mentions wanting more intimacy. His stomach knots. He's been practicing retention for weeks, hasn't told her yet. He knows the conversation's coming but keeps delaying it. Every day the gap widens. She senses something's off, pulling back slightly. He feels the distance growing, but doesn't know how to bridge it without sounding like he's hiding something. Most men think retention works solo or not at all. Wrong. With the right approach, it strengthens the relationship instead of straining it. The foundation starts with one critical move: opening an honest conversation. Without this step, the practice becomes secretive or forced. Here's what happens when couples discuss what's working first, then introduce new ideas from a place of shared benefit. Sexual communication strengthens. Here's how that conversation begins. A man waits for a relaxed moment, after dinner, during a walk, not right before bed. He starts with appreciation. "I love how connected we feel when we're intimate." Then he introduces the concept simply. "I've been reading about a practice that could deepen that even more. It's called carezza." Instead of rushing toward climax, we slow everything down and focus on connection. The key is framing it as something they explore together, not something he's doing to her or withholding from her. He explains the benefits: longer sessions, more emotional closeness, less pressure. He asks what she thinks. He listens without defending. A couple sits on their couch, evening light filtering through the window. He brings up the idea. Her eyebrows lift, curiosity mixed with confusion. "So, no orgasm at all?" He shakes his head gently. "Not as the goal. We can still feel incredible, but we're building something that lasts beyond those few seconds." She leans back, thinking, "What if I want to finish?" He reaches for her hand. "Then we talk about it in the moment. This is about us, not rules." Her shoulders relax. She nods. "Okay, let's try it once and see." Once the conversation opens the door, the physical techniques become tools both partners use. The first technique is extended foreplay without the rush toward climax. Sessions stretch to 20 or 30 minutes. Touch becomes the focus. Hands tracing arms, lips on necks, skin against skin. The goal shifts from destination to journey. Breath synchronization anchors the experience. Both partners sit facing each other, fully clothed at first. They match their breathing, inhaling together, exhaling together. This simple act creates rhythm and presence. Time and again, couples practicing synchronized breathing report increased intimacy and emotional connection. The body's stress response drops when breathing slows and aligns. Minds settle. Partners become attuned to each other's energy. During intimacy, that synchronized breathing continues. When arousal builds too quickly, both partners pause and breathe deeply together. The intensity plateaus instead of spiking. This is edging without the goal of release, riding waves of sensation without cresting over. The man learns his body's signals, the tightening in his abdomen, the shift in breathing, the point where control slips. He backs off before that point. She learns his rhythms too, slowing her movements when he signals. Here's a basic 20-minute session framework. Start with 5 minutes of eye contact and synchronized breathing while clothed. Move to gentle touch and kissing for 5 minutes, maintaining slow breaths. Progress to more intimate contact for 8 minutes, pausing whenever intensity climbs too high. End with 2 minutes of stillness, holding each other, breathing together, letting energy settle. They lie intertwined on the bed, his hand resting on her hip, her head on his chest. Their breathing syncs without effort now. His exhale matches hers. He feels the surge building and slows his movement. She adjusts, matching his pace. They lock eyes. No words needed. The urgency fades, but the warmth stays. Minutes pass. When they finally separate, there's no abrupt drop, no sudden loneliness. The glow lingers. She runs her fingers through his hair. "That was different," she whispers. He smiles. "Good different." She nods against his shoulder. Handling initial resistance requires patience. Some partners worry this means less pleasure for them. The response is simple. This practice increases sensation and connection for both people. It's not about withholding, it's about extending. If she feels uncertain after the first attempt, he asks what would make it better. Maybe more touch on her. Maybe shorter sessions to start. They adjust together. Misconceptions collapse quickly with experience. Retention doesn't mean no pleasure, it redirects it. Both partners report feeling more desired, more present, less like they're performing a script. The shared benefits become obvious. Deeper trust, reduced pressure to finish, intimacy that doesn't end abruptly. Pick one technique this week. Have the conversation. Try synchronized breathing. Notice what shifts. Once the basics of communication and synchronized breathing become familiar, couples can progress to more sophisticated retention practices. These advanced techniques deepen intimacy while revealing why the benefits compound over time. Energy circulation visualization transforms retention from a physical practice into a shared mental experience. During intimacy, both partners visualize energy moving through their bodies. He imagines warmth rising from his lower abdomen through his chest. She mirrors this visualization. They breathe together, picturing this energy flowing between them rather than releasing outward. This isn't mystical thinking, it's attention training. When the mind focuses on internal sensation rather than the race toward climax, arousal patterns shift. The nervous system stays engaged without triggering the finish reflex. Multiple non-ejaculatory peaks build on the edging technique from earlier. Instead of avoiding arousal spikes, couples learn to ride them repeatedly. Arousal climbs near the threshold, then settles. It rises again, higher this time, then plateaus. Each wave intensifies without the crash that follows release. Here's what happens. When a man doesn't finish, his dopamine, the feel-good chemical driving motivation and pleasure, stays high instead of dropping sharply. This creates extended pleasure for both partners. Here's what that looks like over 30 to 40 minutes. A couple begins with gentle touch. Arousal builds slowly. At the first peak, they pause, breathing deeply, letting intensity settle. They resume, building to a second peak, stronger than the first. Again they pause. By the third or fourth wave, arousal feels different. It's less urgent, more expansive. The pleasure isn't concentrated in one moment, but spread across the entire session. Integrating retention into daily affection, routines extends the practice beyond the bedroom. A 10-minute morning session of clothed intimacy, kissing, touching, synchronized breathing, carries retention principles into everyday life. These moments build anticipation without demanding full sessions. The body learns that closeness doesn't always require conclusion. This reduces performance pressure and keeps connection consistent. Why do these techniques strengthen relationships at a biological level? Prolonged intimacy, without release, creates sustained waves of bonding chemicals rather than a single spike. Experience shows this hormonal alignment creates deeper emotional attunement. Both partners feel more connected, more empathetic, more in tune with each other's needs. The feel-good chemical regulation matters too. In typical patterns, dopamine surges then crashes after climax. The man feels satisfied but distant. Energy drops. Interest fades. With retention, dopamine remains elevated. The drive to connect stays active. He feels drawn toward her hours later. The relationship maintains a gentle hum of desire instead of cycling between intensity and indifference. They finish a morning session, still fully clothed, lying side by side on the bed. His hand rests on her shoulder. Her fingers trace circles on his forearm. Neither speaks. Their breathing has synchronized without effort. He feels the warmth in his chest, not urgency, but presence. She turns to look at him. Her eyes are soft, open. He sees something there he hasn't noticed in months, complete trust. No walls, no guard. She leans in, kisses him gently. "I feel closer to you," she whispers. He nods, squeezing her hand. The feeling stays with them through breakfast, through the workday, into the evening. Adapting these techniques to different relationship stages ensures sustainability. New couples might practice once or twice weekly, building comfort gradually. Long-term partners can integrate daily touchpoints and weekly extended sessions. When plateaus occur, when the practice feels routine, couples reintroduce novelty. They change locations, adjust timing, or explore different positions that slow intensity. The key is communication. When one partner feels frustrated or disconnected, they speak up before resentment builds. Common misconceptions create unnecessary barriers. Many assume advanced practice requires years of expertise. It doesn't. Progression happens naturally over weeks, not years. Gradual buildup matters more than perfection. Another myth suggests retention creates selfishness, that the man withholds for his own benefit. The opposite proves true. Shared practice increases mutual pleasure and trust. Both partners report higher satisfaction than in conventional patterns. The long-term relational benefits manifest in observable ways. Couples practicing retention for months notice heightened empathy. They read each other's emotional states more accurately. Trust deepens because vulnerability during practice carries into other areas. Passion revitalizes, not through novelty, but through sustained attention and presence. Integration tips for holistic relationship health. Schedule sessions rather than leaving them to chance. Maintain open communication about what's working. And balance retention practice with other forms of connection, like conversation and shared activities. Retention enhances intimacy, but doesn't replace the full spectrum of partnership. These practices work because they align biology with intention. The body's hormonal system responds to prolonged, controlled arousal by deepening bonding chemicals and stabilizing feel-good chemicals. The relationship benefits from sustained presence rather than fleeting intensity. Start with one advanced technique this week. Notice what deepens between sessions, not just during them. This week, choose one tactic. Have the honest conversation about trying retention together, focusing on shared benefits and mutual exploration. Or practice 10 minutes of synchronized breathing and gentle touch without rushing toward conclusion. Drop your biggest win from practicing retention with your partner in the comments. Hit like if these strategies shifted your perspective on intimacy. Subscribe for weekly relationship tactics that strengthen bonds. Your relationship thrives when presence replaces pressure.